Okay, so Jameson's hand accidentally hit the stop button. So this is the last half of Baby and Me, week 8. He thinks that it's kind of funny. You think it's funny? You hit the stop button on me? You think it's funny? Um, so anyway, I was saying that we do the major feedings with formula. So one at lunch, one at dinner, and then Ryan does like an early morning feeding with formula while I'm catching up on some sleep. So then after lunchtime, he normally takes another nap. So I would say around 1, and this is like pretty consistent. Around 1, 1:30, he'll take another nap, and then around 2:30, he'll wake back up. We do another feeding, we play, and then it's just sort of that same routine all throughout the afternoon. And then around 5 o'clock is when I have started his new bedtime routine. So the witching hour of like the 6 to 9 was getting really bad with him, and it was getting really hard to calm him down, and he was crying for like 3 hours. So I got some advice to move up his bedtime, because I had been having his bedtime around like I would take him up at 8 and start his bedtime routine and get him to sleep by like 9:30. Well, I was told that that's probably too late for him. And so I switched it up and decided to get him upstairs before he started his crying spells at 6. And it seems to be working. It's helping. Let's put it that way. It's not completely taking away his crying, but it's helping. What? He's smiling at me. Now that's the other thing. Week 8, he's totally smiling. He's smiling at me, he's smiling at Dad, he's smiling at grandparents, he's smiling at strangers, he's smiling and laughing a little bit. Dad can get him to laugh a little bit. So anyway, so I moved up his bedtime routine to 6. So basically at about 5 o'clock, when I look at the clock, I know, okay, it's time to feed him. And so I try to get him to feed. And then at 6, I bring him up and turn off the lights, and we do maybe another little feeding. Are you smiling? He's confused. We do another little feeding, and then I just sort of hold him and try to get him. Can you do it again? Every time I bring the camera, he stops. He's camera shy. So I'll hold him and kind of just like rock him to sleep a little bit, and if he's not crying, then he gets to sleep fairly quickly. Like he had been falling asleep by like 6:30. But if, for instance, if I miss that window, and they talk about this, if I miss that window where he's not too tired but sort of ready to go to bed, then we're good. And it only takes me like 15 or 20 minutes to get him to sleep. But if other things have gone on, like for instance, Thanksgiving was a big day for him, and we didn't get home until like 7, he was having a complete meltdown, and it took took us a little while to get him to go to sleep. Same thing sort of happened to me yesterday. We were downstairs watching TV, and I had him in my lap, and I had been like bouncing him, and I bounced him to sleep, and it was like 5 o'clock. And so I let him sleep from about 5 to like 5:45, when he did wake up on his own. But then I took him upstairs for for bedtime, and he was confused. He wasn't ready for he had just had that nap, and it just it didn't work, and he cried from about 6 to like close to 7:30. I finally got him calmed down and asleep for the night. Well, not for the night, but for his 3-hour stretch. Um, so anyway, long story short, bedtime routine especially is important. So what I had been noticing was that around 4 o'clock, doing a really big playtime, so doing like tummy time at 4 o'clock, or having a bath at 4 o'clock, or something that really wakes him up, um, helps a lot with getting him to go to sleep. So tummy time at 4, playtime, more playtime at 4, having visitors over at 4, um, whatnot helps. Gets him a little tired, and then at around 5:30 start his last feeding. Bring him up at 6. Do some more feeding. Listen to some music. Just gently rock him to sleep. Then he'll go to sleep by like 6:30, and then he will stay asleep the first stretch for about 3 to 4 hours. So that's awesome. And then he'll wake up around midnight for another feeding, which I do in bed, and then he goes back to sleep fairly easily. I will change him, and at that point as well, and then get him to go back to sleep. And then after that first initial like 3 or 4 hour stretch, then we're back down to like 2 hours. So throughout the night, he'll wake up, from 12, he'll sleep from 12 to 2, wake up around 2, then wake up around 4. And normally around 4 is when I've tapped out and Ryan will take him downstairs or into another room and feed him. And he's getting lots of smiles. And feed him formula. And then Ryan says he normally falls back asleep after that for like an hour or so, and then I normally get up around 7 and take over, so Ryan can get ready to go to work. And that is the schedule, and that is what's happening. And hopefully I gave some good tips along the way when with that schedule. And the other thing I wanted to say was something that I found out about from my old daycare provider. Actually, we went to visit her the other day. She had this awesome swing, and I put him in it. This is the swing. I put him in it, and he straight up fell asleep in this swing. I didn't have a swing. I was about to get a rock and play, but then I decided to try the swing, and my mom told me that I really liked the swing when I was little. So he really likes the swing. I can put him in the swing. I know you like the swing. I can put him in the swing, and actually he won't cry. Like it's the first thing that I've been able to put him down in for a long period of time so that I can actually get some things done. And beyond that, it also, when he's tired, rocks him to sleep. So I've gotten him to rock to sleep a few times in the swing, which is great. I've never been able to do it. I've never been able to get him to go to sleep on his own with anything, besides me rocking him. And also, if he is asleep and I put him in there and just gently rock it, he stays asleep, and I can get up and go do things rather than him waking up like 10 minutes after I've tried to put him down. So swing is good. Other than that, that's pretty much everything with him. And with me, I am starting to work out again. So at 8 weeks, I do feel like strong enough, and I've been able to go on some walk runs. And I've started eating like a diet and trying to get back down to what I was before I had him, before the new year, because then when the new year comes around, I want to really pump it up and get down to my goal weight, which I started to work on last year, but then I got pregnant. So that's pretty much all that's going on with me. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.